them indict we for standing up against the harmful stereotypes that have been perpetrated against the men. I come here to represent myself and a few. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society set the hurdles and we have to comply. We gonna pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Not for we get broken and we fall into the news. But it's all the brothers say we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand. Empower, elevate every boy, every man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, you're gonna see a better man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, my friend. I have arrived.
Welcome, my people. How are you all doing? This is Mike at Night. And of course, you know, those who are accustomed to the Mike at Night, with what we do here, we talk about relationships. And we try to help people to give them a fillip in their relationships to improve things the way they are. So if you are here, rock and come in. Welcome on board. What I want to do is invite you to call a friend and ask the friend to join us, because we're talking tonight about why so many relationships fail. Why is it so many people seem not to be able to have relationships that work? It fails so often. We're going to find out. We're going to proffer some things, and we'll see whether you agree with those things or not. Okay, my people? Rock and come in. Mike at Night is on. I'm Michael Stewart, your host. And let me tell you, we have some regular people who are usually on and usually come on early. We thank them for their diligence and their consistency. So we have some regular fans that I would always like to make sure I call out. Joy, good to see you on, Joy. Nicely, Joy is from Trinidad. Joy, you know, always happy to have Joy on. Frida Leaks is from Tobago but living overseas in the States. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate that so very kindly. Chef Kenneth Hodge, Trinidad, and a regular listener to the program and contributor. Every week he's on, I can tell you that. Yes, Lenora Francis Moses, good evening. Nice having you, Lenora. Edwin Tulsi, you're wearing your Trinidad flag, I see here, my boy. Awesome, awesome. Yes. Rock and come in, my people. Rock and come in. Tonight is going to be very revealing. We're going to pack it with some information. And we hope that you're able to get some good stuff out of it. Rose Petal Angel Nicholas. You won't have all them government names, my girl. Wait. Alright. Curtis Cox. Good evening. Good evening. Rock and come in, my people. Rock and come in. I want to make sure that once we get started, that we have everybody on board. If you do wish to call in, you can call us at 480-0080. If you have friends that do not have Facebook, tell them they could find us on YouTube also. Just go to my name, Michael Stewart. You'll find me on YouTube. Alright, so we're looking forward to having all of you on board. Alright. What do we have? Let me just say hello to the people in Curacao. I had a wonderful time in Curacao. I want to say good day to Alfred Lazar. Yes, that gentleman who is a minister in the Church of Christ in Curacao took very good care of me. The members were very kind and hospitable. I really appreciated being there with them for that period of time. And so I want to say thank you to that. Thank you also to Carilec, the electricity and the energy company, conglomerate of companies in the Caribbean that had a wonderful, highly organized conference with 150 people and more. People were registering even on the day of the conference itself. So we really had a wonderful time, and we spanned how many countries? I think it was 30 countries that attended to that conference. Yep, so Carilec, big yourself up every time. Alright, my people. So let's see if we can talk a bit about some of the things that cause relationships to fail. There are some people who have not been able to enter relationships, and there are some people who have entered and they have come back out. Sometimes on numerous occasions they have come back out of the relationship. So let's talk about what causes that. And if you think you have an idea of some of the things that causes that, then please feel free to post it. The ones that I'm going to bring, I must admit, are the ones that over my, I'm sure, 25, 30 years of doing counseling and as a marriage officer, that I have learned so many things over the years. And so I want to bring that to the fore as we express what is going on. So this is really from my own experience and from my involvement with people. So I want you to note what I'm saying, because I feel that there is veracity, there's credence in some of the things that I'm going to be presenting. And I want you to look at your own life. If you have struggles with relationships, to be able to consider what they are. If you know of somebody else who's struggling with relationships, call them and tell them join us. It might help them. This is free counseling after all. Because when you have to meet with me privately, it's cost. This is a chance to be able to get free counseling every Thursday on this program. Okay? So, let's talk about the people who having difficulty and that in keeping a relationship. Right? And as we go along, post your questions or call in 868-480-0080. Good evening, Timothy. Timothy, you're coming in late on the class, my boy. You're coming in late. All right. So let's go with number one. Number one is that some people start relationships the wrong way. The wrong way. So many mistakes people make in starting relationship. Some started too soon. Some started too late. When I talk about too soon, I mean you meet the person. There was a lady who was on Judge Judy's show. Met the man one day. Asked the man to come and live with her. And the relationship broke down terribly. And she's saying it's only because she has a soft heart for people why she allowed this guy to come in and be with her. But now that they're in big trouble, they end up in court now. This is a man who the day before or 2 days before came out of prison. And you bring the man into your house to live with you and to have a relationship, and now things break down. Yeah? Something is wrong with that starting. I know of a lady, she told me, she met the guy in some event that they were there liming and so on, and he asked her if they could have a relationship. She said yes. That same week he was living home by her with her, and she has a daughter. You understand? So now she's questioning things that may have gone on with her daughter in the house. But who do you blame for that? That must be a wrong start. Okay? Yes, Rose Petal, it will be good for singles to log on this one. They really need to be on this. But also, married people and people in relationships, good for them to also know. Nicole Guy, good evening. Nicely. Good to see you. Alright? So, Josanne, St. Lucia, you're in a class. I'll be watching live later. Alright, Josanne. Nicely. Curtis Cox says some people are unwilling to compromise. That is right. So the things that I'm going to share is not a complete list, but it would be a list that would help. And of course, Curtis just gave one there, the issue of compromise. So we start with things wrong. We do not know people many times when we get into a relationship with them. We just felt that they were nice people. We felt that they were beautiful people, handsome men, and we just felt that this must work. You can't make a relationship decision like that, my good people. If you check those who have studied human behavior, here's what they'll tell you. When you meet somebody, you are really meeting 15% of that person. Because most times you meet somebody for the first time, they are on their best behavior. They are presenting themselves in public life. They will not do and say certain things that would be their natural inclination to do because they have just met you for the first time. They are in this company or group or association or community for the first time. Only 15% you will know. The 85% surfaces later on in life. And when we get into relationships too early with people, we are getting into a relationship with only 15% of the person. How can we not know that? How can we rush a relationship and think that we're going to turn out in such great thing when there is such a high rate of failure in relationships, my good people? Make that make sense. Give time to get to know the person. There's a song that says, take time to know her. It's not an overnight thing. You ever heard that song? Google it. Google it, my good people. You've got to get to know somebody, and you cannot know somebody in a rush. So therefore, the average couple, when they meet each other, are so much involved in doing things that are pleasurable. They are so much involved in exploring and exploiting each other's body that they don't take time to know the character of the person. Because what lasts for a long time is a person's character, good or bad, because you could have a good character and a bad character. The character lasts longer than your reputation. Reputation is what people say about you. Character is who you are when nobody is watching. And what we end up with in a relationship is the character that we end up with, not the reputation. They may talk themselves up. They may present themselves in such a great way before people, but that may not be who they are. Thank you, Edwin Tulsi. Percy Sledge, you see? You're one of the old boys. Nice, nice. Yes, Rose. People are on their best behavior. That's how it is. So, we don't know people. And let me tell you, I've been counseling people for over 20, 25, 30 years. I certainly had my license, marriage license for over 20 years. And I'm amazed when you ask a man, do you know this woman that you are married to? Do you know this girl that you plan to get married to? Do you know this guy? And so on. They say, well, yeah, somewhat. And when you ask them certain things about the person, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue the true person that they are dealing with. So my people, character versus charisma. Charisma is the energy and the excitement that you get from the person. The person is very jovial, because this is what people tell me. Oh, they're very humorous. I like the humor and so on. That's not what you're going to live the rest of your life on, man. Because many of them still humorous after, but you cannot live with them. You've got to learn how to collaborate with the person and be compatible with that person. Alright? This will be good for me to learn, though I am single, before going into a relationship. Yeah. Yes, Rose, it will be good for you to learn. People practice what they call impression management. Thank you, Kevin. That is absolutely right. Alright. Curtis Cox says, thinking that the person will change overnight. I think he's giving one of the other reasons why relationships, we have this revolving door. Sometimes you have to go through meeting family members. Hey, my boy, Curtis, you're right. Many times, family only meet the person after you all set date. Yes? Don't do that. Integrate them into the family first. Because if the family does not accept the person, and if you don't accept the family, you will have problems. If you don't like the guy's mother, if you don't like the girl's father, they will be your in-laws, whether you like them or not. So start integrating into the family, and because people come from different backgrounds, so they will need to make that adjustment. And if that adjustment isn't there, tension is going to prevail. Alright, so that is number one. So number one is some people start off wrong. That is why they can't stay in a relationship. And because they start off wrong, they make a second mistake. They jump out of the relationship to start a next one, but have not improved on who they are. It's the same thinking that left that last relationship that goes into the second relationship. So, as soon as some people frustrated, they leave. As soon as they feel unhappy, they want a divorce. That is what happens. Yes? But you can't be making relationship decisions like that, where you're in one time and you're out one time. Some people come out of a relationship, miss the person, then go back into the relationship after missing the person. Right? But no new arrangements. They make no new arrangements for entering into this next relationship. Right? Alright, so let me see what some people are messaging me here about. Alright. So, this leaving for any and every reason can't work. Joanna Peters, my dear lady, St. Vincent, have a seat. Class in session. Alright. So, here's what happens. You find people always running from a relationship, but not moving towards one. They really slam into it they running from one. So because they just came out of this one, they came out with hurt, they came out with pain, and they're running into this next relationship that they didn't plan to. But because they're already in trauma, they're in bounce back mode, this next relationship seems as a viable option. But they weren't aiming, they didn't have a prescription as to what they're getting into. But they're glad to come out of this one. Now that they start this one, it helps them to forget that last one. Sometimes they also don't like the fact that the one they left, that person starts a new relationship and they still single. So they start a next one, so that they wouldn't look as though they had up. And then when they start this next relationship and they settle down, they realize this isn't the relationship for me. And they come out again. It was last week, I think it was, I shared with you all. Was it? Yeah. Last week, I think it was. That I shared with you all. Where the parents took the child to the doctor and found out that she's 14, but was having sex since she's 12. And I think she had already 14 sex partners by the time she's 14. You understand how we're making bad decisions? And she's not alone. What happens whenever we start off relationship without getting to know the person and having to end it? Because you never develop a friendship, if the relationship does not work out, the only thing you can go back on, the only thing you can resort to, the only backward way you could go with that relationship is enemy. Because you never really knew the person. They were never a friend. You went straight from you and them into a relationship. And that relationship did not work. That is why many people come out vitriolic, come out with acrimony, come out with hatred out of relationships. Because you didn't have a friendship. My position has been strong on this program. Make the person a friend. Be a friend, that is all. So that even if when you develop it into a romantic relationship and it does not work, the person is still your friend. You don't have to end hating the person, cursing them, getting on Facebook, abusing them. You understand? Two people in the same church, they're not talking to each other again because this was the person that they were with and they were now with somebody else. So now you have a lot of of animosity that takes place. Are you all following me, my people? All right. I hope you all are. Our sitting time saves 9. Candice Alexander, you're coming to class late, Candice. You should have been here from the start. All right. What is my friend Hodge saying? There are many who do not appreciate total honesty from their partners. Well, that's a good one. That is a good one. Joanna says, this tastes nice. Joanna says we have to heal from the first relationship before we start a new one. If we don't heal, we will just jump in from relationship to relationship. That's right. The wife on the ball. Yes. Many go hunting for what is in front of their faces. That's right, Chef. Alright, so when the relationship does not work, this is the second point we're on. It ends wrong. We start wrong and we end up ending it wrong. Even if you start wrong, you don't have to end wrong, you know. You could start wrong and still make it work. You can start wrong and still make it work. Coming out is not necessarily the answer. Divorce is not necessarily the answer. Everybody, as soon as they're upset or they're unhappy, is divorce, is separation. Yeah? Edward Jones, have a seat. You understand me? Don't disturb the class when you come inside of here. Keep quiet. Alright? Yeah. So, what they do is what we call the slash and burn mentality. The relationship ain't working, you mash up the person. You take their reputation and their name through the gutter. You castigate them and say all kind of things about the person. By the time you finish with them, the person is no good to you, and it makes it difficult for them to even want to come back to you. Alright? So, people spend their lives running from one relationship and slamming into our next relationship. So that is 2. Number 3. Personal attitude and behaviors in some people make it hard to be in a relationship with them. Oh God. And they are unaware about themselves. Yeah, Diane, my dear loving sister, you're late for class today, dear. But rock and come in. Have a seat. Yes. There are some people with some attitudinal problems, but they don't even know they have an attitude problem. They think that they're good. They love themselves, and so because they love themselves or pretend to love themselves. Because some of them must know that the last relationship will come out because of this problem that the person complained about me. The last 3 relationships, all of them complain the same thing about you. You must tell yourself, but something must be wrong. But some people going down hell bent, telling themselves they're still good enough. They feel it because people jealous them, people can't handle them, etc. Both man and woman. It's because your attitude is bad. Your behavior needs to change. And some people, because of that attitude, and attitude happens to be a person's disposition. You can't tell a person's attitude because attitude really comes from what you think. What you think creates the way how you feel. That feeling manifests itself because it's an attitude that you have. But we see the evidence of that attitude by your behavior. What you do, what you say, tells the way you think about somebody. So if you are a hostile person, you're always arguing and cussing and carrying on, it says that there is an attitude that you have that is very negative. Your thinking has to produce that, because you can never execute a behavior in the absence of you thinking about it. It's a thought deficit. Yes? And some people just don't get it, that the attitude needs to change. Not only do they wreck their own relationship, they are wrecking the people they are in the relationship with. But how do you get that person to wise up? Rose is asking, should a person who is not promiscuous go in a relationship with a friend who is promiscuous, or just be normal friends and move along? Should a person, here we go that again, who is not promiscuous go in a relationship with a friend who is promiscuous, or just be normal friends and move along? Madam Rose, let me tell you this. If the person is, not was, because you could get into a relationship with somebody who was promiscuous, and even if you meet the person and the person at the time is promiscuous, I would suggest you hold off the relationship when the person has made a commitment to give up the promiscuity. But you don't go into it while they are still promiscuous. Yes? So that should be a relationship that you should stay away from. But it does not mean that the person cannot change. The person can change. And people will tell you of how much they have changed. So much, both men and women. There are women who have had serious relationships and body count, and they change. There are men who have had multiple women and they have changed. But you cannot watch that taking place and say, well, I'm going to marry the person and hope they change after. Nope. Bad action right there. Bad decision. So I hope you got that, Rose. Thank you very much for your question, Rose. Appreciate that. Alright, so 1 is the start bad, 2 the end wrong, and 3 personal attitude is bad. And attitude also goes to the way how they think about themselves. There are some people who only think of themselves only what makes them happy, and you have to toe the line after that. So their time is 100% theirs. They don't have time for you, except your time is going to be merged with theirs. Yes? Their money is only for them, not for you. So once you have somebody who is so selfish, so withdrawn, so into themselves, you can't have a relationship. Now the person could be a nice person, the person could be a wonderful person. They are wonderful if they are by themselves, but to get into a relationship, you have to make adjustments for the people you're in the relationship with. So you should not get into a relationship with somebody who is selfish, because relationship is about sharing. Alright? So number 4, where is the person's priorities? The reason why some people's relationship fail because they don't understand priorities. From the time you start a relationship, and from the time you're even married especially, your priorities change. Your priorities change because you would have to leave father and mother and cleave to your wife. And the woman must be prepared to be cleaved onto. Yes? And the reason why I'm saying that is because sometimes people get married and the father and mother still number one. The father and mother no longer number one. Of course they would like to be number one still, but they're not. You are married to somebody, and that person you are married to becomes number one. And if the person is not prepared to do that, if the person still is going to be rooted in their parents' thinking, and everything their parents have to advise them on, and everything they have to find out from their parents first, sanctioned from their parents first. Nope, you ain't ready. And I'm saying this to both men and women. Okay? So, when the person doesn't understand priorities, that's a difficult thing. So your parents is not number one. Of course, if you're in boyfriend, girlfriend, your parents still number one. So don't ever jump that if you have not married. You're jumping that too soon. There are some people that get into a relationship and they get into a marriage and their friends still holding a major position in their life. They work whole day and they now spend time with their friends. Come home from work late at night to give the remaining part of their tired selves to their family. Bad business. So, yeah. My goodness, Lawrence man. Is this the time you now coming in class, boy? We should tax you. Timothy, there are people who just out to destroy other relationships because their past relationship didn't work out. Talking from experience. Yeah, I come into that, my boy. If I don't talk about it, remind me. I come into that because you have a point there. Relationship is not a buffet. That's right. You can't be going and taking up all you could eat. Kevin, hey Kevin, what's up? You're welcome, Rose, anytime. Kevin, can an individual have a negative attitude problem towards their partner because of an issue that a person have with themselves personally? Alright, let me address Kevin here. Kevin, the answer is a clear yes. If somebody is not okay with themselves, they cannot be okay with other people. This is why the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You've got to have a good appreciation of yourself for you to truly love your neighbor, because you'll always be jealous of your neighbor. You'll always feel that what your neighbor has, you need to have, because you're not okay with and contented with yourself. The reason why some people trying to look like other people, trying to look like movie stars, they're not even comfortable with their own body, their own self, how they look. We change our tone, we change our body skin tone. We want to look as a movie star and so on. No, if you're not okay with yourself. So the negative attitude that you spoke about, you could have somebody with a negative attitude because they are going through some personal challenges themselves. It might be issues of abandonment. They may have been abandoned because whenever children, parents separate, long after the negative effects of that shows up in their adult life and in their relationships, because they tend not to trust their partner if their parents separated. So they would think that this person will leave them also. And I've met so many people who their parents separated when they were small. They are now married and always on the lookout, thinking that their spouse will leave them also. And because some people have the attitude, I will leave you before you leave me, they jump the gun and leave. Alright? So yes, the negative attitude could have an issue in a person's relationship that they have. I hope I got the question that you asked and I answered it as you asked it. There are people who just out to destroy the alright, yes, I think I read that. Kenny Lake, hey Kenny, my goodness, good to see you, my brother. Nicely. Kenny, where are you from again? They just remember me, the island that you're on. Alright, hey Sharon Andrews, what's up? Long time I ain't see you on the show, girl. You're there too busy, like I'm not your favorite again. What a pity. Alright. So, you can't make your friends priority and you're in a relationship, spending all that time. And there are some people they rush to do things for their friends and take long to do for the person that they're in relationship with. That can't work at all. Alright, so I wonder if this is a call that wants to come in here. Stand by, let me see if it's a call. Alright, so I wonder if this is a call that wants to come in here. Stand by, let me see if it's a call. Alright, so I wonder if this is a call that wants to come in here. Stand by, let me see if it's a call. Alright, so I wonder if this is a call that wants to come in here. Stand by, let me see if it's a call. Alright, so I wonder if this is a call that wants to come in here. Stand by, let me see if it's a call. Alright, so I wonder if this is a call that wants to come in here. Okay, are you all hearing me? It's as though I'm hearing a feedback now. Okay, are you all hearing me? It's as though I'm hearing. Alright, okay. Sorry about that. I thought that was a call to come through on here. But no, it wasn't. Okay, let me see what people are saying online here. I hope you all forgive me for that one. Okay, Kevin, nice, thank you. How do we pronounce? Tola. Alright, Kenny, thank you very much. Good to have you in the house. Alright, let me see. Pamela says some parents are responsible for destroying some of their children's relationships. You are right, Pamela. Right? Their relationship and their marriages, because they want to be the first priority of the relationship and want to be the ones to make the decisions in the marriage. That should not be. If you are a gentleman, you cannot be taking things first to your parents to get their sanction and approval, and your wife finds out after. No. That is immature. You discuss it with your wife first. Get your wife's opinion. But you cannot make your parents' opinion trump your wife's opinion on matters. You could go and get their opinion from your parents. And then if you feel it goes counter to your wife, you can come back to your wife and say, I got this other angle. And also give your wife a chance to be able to hear this new angle. In the end, you make your best decision out of the both angles that you got, in the interest of both of you all and the family. Not because you want to make the decision for one or the other, but you are making it in the interest of the relationship and the marriage. Right? So get that clear. Don't get yourself tied up with that one at all. Alright. So, friends not first. Your work must not be first. Yes, but you have bills to pay and all of that. When you don't pay all them bills and work hard 24 hours a day, hardly seeing your family, whether you are a man or a woman, but you're not spending enough time to nurture your family, and you lose your family, but you have your work. Yes, but we building house. A lot of people end up with house, but no home. A home is the atmosphere in the house. So if you don't have that and you just have the bricks, that is a very sad life. Empty life. A life that echoes in an empty bricked house. Frida League says some people want to live a single life after being married. Their spouse is the last person on the priority list. No. I usually say, whenever I'm marrying a young person, those who have attended marriages that I have put together. I usually tell the friends of the people who getting married, these two are now getting married. They are no longer single. You can be spontaneous. You can plan things as you like. You can stay out late. You don't have to report to anybody. These two don't have those laws to operate with. They don't have that freedom. They have to consult with each other. They have to now talk to each other about when they're going to be out later than normal. They have to now chat with each other when they are going to do things. They don't have the freedom you have. You cannot be married and live single. I make that abundantly clear. I believe in it. Because, and anybody who's your friend must never try to tempt you with the single life. Because there are some single people who flaunt their singleness with their own friends to show how, you see how you stick up in the house and now we going on cruise. We going for dinner and you can't come. To make the person feel guilty. And some people who are in a good marital relationship take chain up and want to leave the relationship to get back that single life of freedom. And when they come out now to join their single friends with their freedom that they have, those single friends go ahead and get married and left you single. Now you're alone. Talk to me, people. Timothy says, my wife has the last final say and then I take the final say and finalize it. I like that, Timothy. I like that. That's how decisions are made in my marriage. Alright, she has the final say and you finalize it. Oh yeah. I never heard that one then. But I like it. Alright. So, your family not number one, your work not number one, your friends not number one, and your hobbies not number one. There are some people that like football, they like fishing, they like this, they like that, they like tennis, they like cricket, they like the girls and them like the going on girls' lime and cruise and all of that, and they put that as priority and they don't care the impact of it. You can't do that. And there are some people who don't know how to put their priorities in order. That's why they can't keep a relationship. Let me give you another one. Your family patterns. Your family patterns have a lot to do with why people don't keep relationships. If you come from a broken home, you are likely to select somebody to give you a broken home like the one you came from. Let me go that again. If you come from a broken home, you are likely to select somebody who will give you a broken home like the one you came from. If you are not careful, it doesn't have to take place, but without a conscious effort, you are likely to do that. And why do I say that? As you know, there are certain biblical principles that I hold to tenaciously. And the Bible, when it says, every seed shall be in itself, and every seed shall reproduce after its kind, I do believe that in every mango seed is a mango tree. Every seed is in itself, and it will reproduce after its kind. So every seed, mango seed, will reproduce a mango tree, will never reproduce apple, lemon, grapes. It will only reproduce after its kind, and it will reproduce after the brand of mango of the seed. Understand that? That's a law God laid down. Whatever law God made down, man can't change that. Since he said the sun shall rule by day and the moon by night, man still can't change that yet. So, inside of me is my father. He reproduced me after my kind. You don't have to. I am 5'4". You wonder why I am 5'4"? You just have to know that I'm 5'4" to know that my father was short. That's all you need to know. Christ said, if you see me, you see my father. You're asking, show us the father. You watch at me, you would have seen the father. So, we not only look like our parents, in many ways, we think like our parents. In many ways, we make decisions like our parents. You get me? So, we will reproduce our children like us. And in reproducing our children like us, we'll make decisions like them. So, boys in a family tend to select a woman unconsciously like his mother. So if you had a quarrelsome, warish, cussbud mother, you are likely, and I use that word likely because if somebody will say, well, my mother, the wife I choose ain't like my mother. It's not every single case. You understand? You are likely to choose somebody like your mother. And the girls are likely to choose a man like a father. If the man was an unfaithful man, if the man was full of infidelity and he was a drinker or he had vice, even if your father was drinking, that's a vice. But this next man may also have a vice, but he may not be drinking. So you tend to choose somebody like your father unconsciously. So the reason why some people fail in their relationships is because they end up choosing somebody who had traits of destruction that came from the family of origin. You following me? So when somebody says, I want a divorce, they may not even be aware that they are trying to get a relationship of separation and divorce like their own parents. That's why they don't have the energy to work on the one that they have, because they are driven to repeat history, and they are preparing their children. Once they get to destroy their marriage, they are now preparing their own children to have a wrecked, dysfunctional family, and it goes down to the generation. Are you all following me, my people? Alright. I hope you all are. What about being mature within the boundary of marriage? Yeah, you could get mature within marriage. A lot of my maturity took place after marriage. And that more came from my wife. Some of the things that I would do and my spending habits and so on would have changed. My thinking habit would have changed. So yes, it can happen, Hutch. Benton Williams. I don't think I've had a chance to meet Benton before. Benton, you sound like a newbie. Welcome to the class, Benton. Alright. So, those behaviors tend to come down through the generation. And without making a conscious effort to change that, we can end up wrecking our relationships like our parents' relationships were wrecked. So let me go on to the next one. Why some relationships don't work? Because we're coming down, the program running, coming to the top of the hour. Some people take advice from the worst set of people out. The Bible calls those people sitting in the seat of the scornful and getting counsel from the ungodly. You understand? Walking in the way of sinners, where you get counsel from people that should not be counseling you. There are people in some good relationships. All you listen to me now. Some wonderful marriage. It's not a perfect marriage. The person you're with is not a perfect person. But somebody who is bitter, who had a failed relationship, comes and counsel you to tell you, don't put up with that. Don't let her talk to you like that. Don't let your man treat you so. You understand? And you take chain up. And you take their bitter bush. Drink it. And all of a sudden, something that you could have worked out in your marriage, you are now taking serious offense to, because you are being pushed by somebody who had a failed relationship, who's still bitter from theirs. And they are, sometimes it is from their parents who also had a failed relationship. And those same parents also now passing down their advice to you. You have to watch that. You have to be smart enough to know that how can you ask somebody who is a thief to advise you to be honest? No. I'm not calling your parents and your friends thief. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the person is in a bad situation. And they're advising you to join their bad situation by leaving your relationship. You understand me? No, don't do that. Rose said true, some guys may choose a lady, do everything dominant, and can be too dependent on her generally. Alright, yes. Alright? So, Mr. Man, you have a woman that is willing to do almost anything for you. The lady almost worships the ground you walk on. She's a good mother. She's taking care of your children. And you're going to take advice from some woman or get into a relationship with another woman who promising you things and wreck your family, wreck your home, and go after that? That makes sense? And ma'am, you unhappy and you leaving home because you unhappy. Marriage is not about seeking happiness. Marriage is about learning to live with somebody else, making that adjustment. Marriage is about learning to have a home that you could bring up children, stable. Once you do that, happiness is one of the byproducts of bringing up a family, stable and structured. But you don't feel happy. And because you don't feel happy, you want to leave the marriage. Bad relationship. And anytime fellas want to meet a girl who her happiness is her priority, I will tell you, jump on your horse, take your whip and hit the horse butt, and ride off into the sunset. Yeah? Alright. Let me give you the last one. We're down to the other one. Anybody who has a heavy body count, watch that. Anybody who has a high body count. What do I mean by high body count? People who have had sex with many people, multiple people. Some people say, well, once I have it with so many people, alright, after that I could settle down with one. I could settle down with one woman now, I could settle down with one man because I had me full. I want to tell you, and you could do your own Google and your own research. People have a high body count tend not to bond well in a relationship. Why am I saying so? I will tell you why I'm saying so. Let me just go to a commercial break. That's a trivial break. I'll come right back.
You know how you me love, man. Stop going
Wait,
like that, no man.
now your woman that.
What? What you mean, my woman? Stop playing with man. My woman don't know where me there. But my oh. Hello, babes. You alright?
All right. I wonder if you all got the message on that.
You know how you me love, man. Stop going
Wait,
like that, no man.
now your woman that.
What? What you mean, my woman? Stop playing with me, man. My woman don't know where me there. But my hello, babes. You alright?
Every time I see that thing, I laugh. Yes. I find these fellas are very creative, very very creative with it. Even cats and all, up to slackness. Yeah. Where was the last one? We were talking about the body count. If the body count is high, there's a difficulty that people who have a high body count, who have had sex with plenty people, have in settling down. But it's not to say that they cannot or will not, but it is difficult for them to be bonded in a relationship. And that's because if you all had followed the program from last week when we talk about what happens when we have sex, some of you all need to go back to some of those programs and hear what was said. When two people have sex, especially when they have sex for the first time and it was enjoyable, there's the hormone oxytocin that makes you feel so happy. Dopamine also makes you feel so much to repeat the act, to have sex again. But some of these hormones bond you to the person, make you feel close to the person. But if you keep bonding over and over with different people, multiple partners, the bonding glue, it becomes impotent. It is not effective. So after that, all that it is pure sex, not making love. It is pure gratification. It is pure pleasure, not bonding. Somebody who has had plenty sexual partners are likely, notice my word, likely, it doesn't mean to have to, must be, not in every case, but they are likely to not feel connected with those that they are having sex with. You hear that, men? You hear that, woman? So those people, it is nothing for them to walk out of a relationship as long as they are fed up. They don't feel it. They won't connect it to you. They are not bonded to you. So they walk out and they don't feel it. You who may have had one partner, or this is your first partner in sex, maybe all heartbroken and all upset, but this is why they can afford to walk off so easily. So when they're ready now to settle down, they find that the bonding effect is missing. And other programs we could probably talk deeper on that. Because those hormones that bond us together, we have corrupted it. So always be quite aware of the sexual history of those you're getting in relationship with. Benton, we said we went to school. Yeah, well, make sure you connect with me. I would really like to connect with you. Alright. Rose Petal say, preach, sir. In church they need to teach the reality truth. Well, I try to. In Canaan where I minister, Canaan brethren hear it. So this is not anything new towards the brethren Canaan, because I do it. We do a session called Family Food where we explain all of these to the members of the church, young and old. Lawrence says a great marriage is based on true commitment from both partners being understanding to each other's needs and goals. Love is to be nurtured on a daily basis, and each other's spiritual faith must be in keeping with God's plan for marriage. Gotcha? Absolutely. Yeah, Rose, those cats they really have me. Good evening, you all. A real late Marcia. Now you have to go back and watch this thing, Marcia. You know, come in. Alright. Apology accepted. What do you say to someone who said that they were lonely on their honeymoon? What? Lonely on the honeymoon. Alright. You have to explain to me how that happened, Mr. Timothy. You probably got married and the spouse went back on shift. Went back to work. Same goes for prostitute, can't bond in relationship. That's right. But prostitutes have a difficulty in bonding. They don't find bonding with their clients. Kevin, many marriages in church today are failing or struggling. My opinion is 1. Counseling lacked the fundamental principles. Amen. 2. Marriage for the wrong reasons. That's right. 3. Partners focus on either the physical or financial aspect, and changes in either causes destabilizing. Got you with that? 4. This is actually number 1. God was never the center initially. Got you on that one there too. Absolutely. Alright. Kenneth says it becomes a routine. Yes, it is. It is a routine. Alright, my viewers, thank you all very much for joining. Let me give all of that cat story again one more time. I like the cat story, alright? And then we're going to take it on. Love you all. God bless.
You know how you me love, man. Stop going like that, no, man. Now your woman that. What? What you mean, my woman? Stop playing with man. My woman don't know where me there. But my... Oh. Hello, babes. You alright?